Hey Assassins, female and male versions of Eivor have now been released onto the forum, showcasing their abilities, their legendary weapons and what class they're going to be. So today we're going to break down everything basically about the hero, go through it all, give our thoughts and see what we think of them. On paper look very good, very excited for this. So if you are hyped for the Raven's Wound event, hit the thumbs up button for me, and I will be live streaming this event on the 17th of November, as I usually do, so make sure you tune in for that, because I think these heroes are going to be absolutely awesome. So let's start with a female. So Eivor is a legendary, obviously class enforcer. AoE, I called that in the podcast, so little pats on back from me. Weapon type is a hammer, even though she wields an axe, bit strange, but still, and medium armor. So not too bad. We're not going to go through all the bio, but we'll go through everything else. Right, fights for a pair of hard-hitting weapons. Can launch a frenzy spinning attack, lashing out in a flurry against nearby enemies or foes. Specialises in obliterating whole groups of foes single-handedly. Right, so skills. Berserker, Freerunner ability, Freerunner ADAT, Brawler and Dual Wielder. So spinning attack, could have just called it like Viking's Fury or something like that. It would have been far better. Eivor strikes out in a whirling flurry, landing multiple attacks on all adjacent enemies. Recharges 3 ticks and attack hits 4 times for X amount of her attack power. So it's not instant, it does recharge, and then it just goes on to explain exactly what it says in the title. So you hit all enemies in front or behind. So quite nice. Throwing axe. So Eivor hurls an axe at her target, dealing damage and reducing their defense. This has been confirmed that this does grant initiative, just as the same as all range weapons do. So you can activate this in or out of combat. It's instant, so it doesn't cost you a tick. It's obviously ranged. Deals damage and debuffs and has 3 charges. So that's quite nice. So reducing their defense as well is quite nice. So if you get this off against a very tanky enemy, you're reducing their defense, just means you're going to do more damage when you hit them. Should be quite nice. So she's got the Master at Arms perk as well for the HQ. And the legendary weapon is, right, I'm going to try this. Is it the Worm's Breath? Yeah, Worm's Breath. We'll go with that. Doesn't look much like a hammer, to be fair to you. It looks completely like an axe, but in the shape of a hammer. So, yeah, I mean, she sounds good. Sounds very good. It'd be nice to see what ability the legendary weapon actually gives her. That would be quite nice. Throwing axe ability, quite nice. Obviously, hopefully she hits like a truck, so that when you come up against multiple enemies, you're going to do some nice damage. Looks like she can get around the map, probably not reliably, but she can still obviously do a little bit of a job for you. So yeah, not a bad hero. Not a bad hero at all. Right, so let's go on to the Mel. So here is Mel Aval. Right, so he's an enforcer, tank. I did say he'd probably be a tank as well. I thought they might have snuck him in as an assassin, but they didn't. Weapon type, hammer. Again, for some reason, wielding an axe, but yeah, we'll just gloss over that. Right, armor medium, so same armor. So won't obviously do the bow again. Right, role info. Uses Viking's Revenge to draw attacks from enemies, then retaliate furiously. Vitality and defense abilities grant high toughness despite relatively light armor. I mean, it's got medium armor. I think what they're trying to say is, despite it being medium armor, you're still going to be able to soak up a lot of damage. That really confused a few people. They didn't know why they popped that in the light armor, and then they're like, hang on a minute, he's got light armor, but he hasn't. He has got medium. And able to block some incoming damage with a round shield. So that's quite nice. So he's got hindering blow, shield wall, stealth adapt, brawler, and shield wielder. So new skills, Viking Revenge. See, that's so much nicer than spinning attacks. So Eivor braces to receive a blow of his enemy, absorbing a great deal of punishment and using that to using the collected force to strike back ferociously. So activate instant skill, applies damage migration buff for a 1 tick, absorbing X amount of all incoming damage. unmitigating damage. Did I say migrant? That's mitigation, isn't it? Right. Anyway, just, you know me by now. If you're sub to the channel, you know what my pronunciation's like. Damage absorbed by the buff is tracked and stored. Eivor's next attack deals extra damage equal to the value of the stored damage. 6 tick recharge, so not too bad. Sounds very good. If you can store up, if it works quite well and it's a beefy enemy hitting you, hopefully you can do some really nice damage back. Again, he's got the throwing axe as well, just the same as the female version, which is always nice because it gets you obviously initiative and does reduce their defense. So it has 3 charges as well. Hopefully the weapon might give us something a bit more. And his legendary weapon is a shield breaker. Is that like me, or does that look completely identical to that? Is it like well subtle? Yeah, it's very subtle, very subtle. Her weapon looks a little bit cleaner. His looks a bit like I could have made that. So yeah, both heroes on paper do look very, very good, I must admit. Glad that they're both different classes. That's what we were all hoping for. So it's nice that they fulfill different roles in the game. Be a bit of a shame to have like the male and the female just do exactly the same thing. Interesting to see what the damage output's going to be like. Interesting to see what his ability is going to, how it's going to work. Viking's Revenge, that'll be very, very nice. Yeah, it's going to be quite interesting to see how some of these play out. But so far, I'm very hyped for these heroes. I think they do look awesome on paper, and I think they'll be very good additions to the game. Obviously, until I get them 5-star and test them out properly, who knows? But it does look like, obviously, Mel Aval has a stealth as well, so he's there for sneaking past people as well. It's only ADAPS. I wouldn't hold your breath on this, you know, being absolutely amazing. It probably may help you out here and there, but overall, it's not something I don't think he's really going to rely on. But all in all, very good heroes. Looking forward to playing them. As I said, I will be live streaming on YouTube on this very channel the event, going through all difficulties, and obviously if there's any cube deals, we'll be picking them up as well. So yeah, absolutely buzzing. I think it's going to be a bit of a slogfest in this new event, but hopefully it's beautiful. Hopefully we can have fun as a community with it together, and just hopefully everything, yeah, goes smoothly, no bugs, no nothing. So thank you ever so much, Assassins, for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. I hope you're hyped for it. Let me know in the comment section. I love you all. Stay safe and good night.